demigod in great saintly persons showered flowers in a joyous mood, and clouds gathered in the sky and very mildly thundered, making sounds like those of the ocean's waves. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who was situated in the core of everyone's heart, appeared from the heart of Devaki in the dense darkness of night, like the full moon rising on the eastern horizon, because Devaki was of the same category as Sri Krishna. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, Anandam Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitavi Sabirya Eva Nijurupataya Kalavi Kaloka Eva Nivasatchakilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Gusami. This verse indicates that Krishna and his entourage are of the same spiritual potency, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. Krishna's father, Krishna's mother, his friends, the cowherd boys, and the cows are all expansions of Krishna. As will be explained in the Brahma Mohana Lila. Brahma took away Krishna's associates to test the supremacy of Lord Krishna. The Lord expanded himself again in the forms of the many cowherd boys and calves, all of whom, as Brahma saw, were Vishnumurtis. Devaki is also an expansion of Krishna, and therefore this verse says, Devakyam Devarupinyam Vishnu Sarvabhuhatraya. At the time for the Lord's appearance, the great sages and the demigods, being pleased, began to shower flowers. At the seashore, there was the sound of mild waves, and above the sea there were clouds in the sky, which began to thunder very pleasingly. When things were adjusted like this, Lord Vishnu, who was residing within the heart of every living entity, appeared in the darkness of night as the Supreme Personality of Godhead before Devaki, who appeared as one of the demigods. The appearance of Lord Vishnu at that time could be compared to the rising of the full moon in the sky on the eastern horizon. The objection may be raised that since Lord Krishna appeared on the 8th day of the waning moon, there could be no rising of the full moon. In answer to this, it may be said that Lord Krishna appeared in the dynasty which is in the hierarchy of the moon. Therefore, although the moon was incomplete on that night, because of the Lord's appearance in the dynasty, wherein the moon is himself the original person, the moon was in an overjoyous condition. So by the grace of Krishna, he could appear as a full moon. To welcome the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the waning moon became a full moon in jubilation. Instead of Deva Rupinyam, some texts of Srimad Bhagavatam clearly say Vishnu Rupinyam. In either case, the meaning is that Devaki has the same spiritual form as the Lord. The Lord is Satchit Ananda Vigraha, and Devaki is also Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Therefore, no one can find any fault in the way the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Satchit Ananda Vigraha, appeared from the womb of Devaki. Those who are not in full knowledge that the appearance and disappearance of the Lord are transcendental, Sanmakarma Samay Divyam, are sometimes surprised that the Supreme Personality of Godhead can take birth like an ordinary child. Actually, however, the Lord's birth is never ordinary. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is already situated within the core of everyone's heart as Antarjami, the Supersoul. Thus, because he was present in full potency in Devaki's heart, he was also able to appear outside her body. One of the 12 great personalities is Bhishma Dev, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumar Kapilamanu Kalavatanaku Bhishma. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhishma, a great authority to be followed by devotees, says that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in the core of everyone's heart. Just as the sun may be on the head of millions and millions of people, this does not mean that the sun is variously situated. Similarly, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead has inconceivable potency, He can be within everyone's heart and yet not be situated variously. Ekatvam anupashyato. The Lord is one, but He can appear in everyone's heart by His inconceivable potency. Thus, although the Lord was within the heart of Devaki, He appeared as her child, according to the Vishnu Purana, therefore as quoted in the Vaishnava Toshini. The Lord appeared like the sun, Anugrahasaya. The Brahma Samhita confirms that the Lord is situated even within the atom, Andantaraksta Paramanu Chayantarakstam. He is situated in Mathura, in Vaikuntha, and in the core of the heart. Therefore, one should clearly understand that He did not live like an ordinary child in the heart or womb of Devaki, nor did He appear like an ordinary human child, although He seemed to do so in order to bewilder asuras like Kamsa. The asuras wrongly think that Krishna took birth like an ordinary child and passed away from this world like an ordinary man. Such asuric conceptions are rejected by persons in knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ajopi son of Atma, Bhutanamishwaropi son. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is Aja, unborn, and He is the supreme controller of everything. Nonetheless, He appeared as the Lord who appeared like a full moon. Nonetheless, He appeared as the child of Devaki. This verse describes the inconceivable potency of the Lord who appeared like the full moon. Understanding the special significance of the appearance of the Supreme Godhead, one should never regard Him as having taken birth like an ordinary child. Then switch it. Power. Why is this distorted? Why did this distort every time you say it? Mucho manayo deva sumanamsi mudandita mandam mandam jalada jagajur anusagaram ishite tama udbhute jayamane janardane devakyam devarupinyam vishnu sarvabhashaya avirasa jitha pratyam dishindur eva pushkala. The demigods, great saintly persons, showered flowers in a joyous mood, and clouds gathered in the sky, and very mildly thundered, making sounds like those of the ocean's waves. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who is situated in the core of everyone's heart, appeared from the heart of Devaki in the dense darkness of night, like the full moon rising on the eastern horizon, because Devaki was of the same category as Shri Krishna. So there are many important elements in this verse. First, the demigods and saintly persons were not unaware of the appearance of the Supreme Lord. They knew that He was going to appear at that time, because it was predicted. Before the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, He makes sure that there are plenty of indications in the scripture so that His appearance is going to be understood as bona fide. Nowadays, many unscrupulous persons try to categorize themselves as Krishna, Vishnu. Every year you hear a couple new ones. Prabhupada used to say that India's biggest export was God. Every day a new God was exported from India without license. Nowadays it's not so bad anymore. Now every year a new God is exported due to the influence of anything, Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada's books as we see. So there are indications in all the Vedic literatures, and it was stated that in the 7th Manu, 28th round of millenniums, when the Satyuga, Dwapara, Satyuga, Treta-yuga, Dwapara, Kali Yuga turn, that's one round. So after, in the 28th round, in the 7th millennium, the 7th Manu, which we are presently in, Vaivasvata Manu, Krishna will appear at the end of the Dwapara Yuga as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. There was no secret about the time when Krishna would appear. And similarly, the specific mission that Krishna had to please his devotees, Purichanaya Sadhunam Dinashaya Chaduskritam, destroy the envious demons. Dharma Samsthapanarthaya, and to re-establish the principles of the religious system. Krishna appears. He appears just to re-establish that which was lost due to the influence of the demoniac nature and time. So Krishna did not appear whimsically. Krishna appeared at the right time, in the right place, and everybody knew it, who was a demigod. The demons, they were also worrying about it. Kamsa also knew that Krishna would appear, Vishnu, his eternal enemy. He knew exactly when, too, as the 8th son of Vasudeva and Devaki. In fact, everybody knew Krishna was going to appear. And still, when Krishna appeared, nobody knew it. Except the demigods and great saintly persons who were situated in the sky. Demigods, they know all these things. Although for us, we may try to do things in a hidden way. The demigods are fully aware of all the things that are going on. Their perception is much stronger than ours. So they knew, so they were pouring flowers from the sky. Showering flowers from the sky. And the clouds, gathering together, started to mildly rumble their approval. You know, when the thunder is coming, and it's very big, and it cracks, and the lightning is, everybody's afraid. This is not very nice. Especially lightning, it's very heavy. And the thunder, it comes all of a sudden and cracks right over your roof. Ooh. The whole house shakes. But when it's a nice, pleasing, warm day, and it is very mildly blowing breezes, it's warm, the clouds, when they assemble together and they rumble very slightly, it sounds very nice. It sounds just like when the ocean waves crash against the shore. It makes a very pleasing sound. So the clouds rumbling in the sky were saluting the appearance of Krishna in a proper way. It wasn't a big boom. Nobody wanted to wake up the demons. Kamsa sleeping soundly. The gatekeepers, all the others, they weren't paying very much attention. Everybody was nicely situated in ignorance. Within that jail cell, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was about to appear from the heart of Devaki. Actually, how did he even get there? Generally one appears from the womb. But Krishna was not situated within the womb. Krishna first appeared within the heart of Vasudeva. And that heart was called unalloyed. Alloy means a mixture of metals. You mix different metals together and you get other metals. This is very difficult to do. Nowadays you can mix all kinds of metals, but the very good kind of mixtures you cannot make. Like how to make gold. In other words, with copper and mercury. You cannot do that unless you know the art. But alloy means you mix metal and it makes a new metal. So within the heart of Vasudeva, there was no mixture of any other idea, any other loved object, any other thought than the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, other than Krishna. In other words, Vasudeva was completely, totally, 100% Krishna conscious. There was nothing out there but Krishna. And thus from that heart, unalloyed heart of Vasudeva, Krishna appeared and then transferred himself to the mind of Vasudeva. For that mind was similarly unalloyed. And then from the mind of Vasudeva, Krishna went from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki. He did not appear by impregnative methods of father and mother. He transferred himself from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki, whose mind was also similarly unalloyed, but she was fully in the rasa of the maternal relationship with Krishna. And then from the mind of Devaki, Krishna entered into the heart of Devaki. Therefore, both Vasudeva at the moment at which he departed, at the moment at which Krishna appeared within his heart, and Devaki, while carrying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, were considered to be of the same form as the Supreme. Either Deva Rupinyam, Vishnu Rupinyam, however you want to say it. The form, the Rupa, was Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Because these associates of the Supreme Personality of Godhead were fully in their spiritual form, spiritual characteristics, just to be the agency by which the Supreme Lord may appear for the performance of his pastimes. Krishna appears in a way in which it will seem that this is ordinary to a certain extent. Because Krishna appears amongst men with the idea of acting out his pastimes as if he were a human being, to enjoy amongst the humans. Because this earth planet is a very special place. In general, it's a very special place. Because it is here that so many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead have appeared. Help that person find a place. So, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared here on this earth planet. And, appearing on the earth planet, he blessed it with the touch of his lotus feet. Other planets are not so blessed. Therefore, Earth is special. And Mother Earth was in an overjoyous condition that day. And every day that Krishna's lotus feet were walking upon her surface. In fact, it was for her alone, or that was the excuse, that Krishna appeared. When long ago, Mother Earth was feeling very disturbed because there were too many demons in the dress of kings. They were actually demons, but they had appeared within the dynasties of kings to take over the planet and turn it into a hellish place, fit for demons. Presently, we see the same thing is happening. Unfortunately, Krishna is not predicted to appear. However, Krishna can appear in other ways, as he is appearing now through the Srimad Bhagavatam, when the sages ask, now that Krishna has departed for his own abode, along with religiosity, who will Dharma go to now for shelter? And the sages, and Sutta Goswami said, those who now are in the darkness of ignorance of the age of Kali will take their shelter to Srimad Bhagavatam, which is now carrying Dharma. Dharma projita kaita vocha paramo nimasaranam siddham. Everything is there within the Srimad Bhagavatam. And all cheating processes, as mentioned last night, various other so-called duties, are all kicked out of Bhagavatam. Only the purest platform of Krishna consciousness is there, or meant to be there. Of course, you're a materialist, you can see material everywhere, matter everywhere. But for those who are Paramamsa, Nimatsaranam, Satam, that personality was of the highest category, was not envious of other living entities. He will relish the ripened fruit of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that time, when he appeared because Earth planet was crying, how am I going to be protected? Who will protect me? There are demons everywhere with huge armies walking on my surface, just making trouble, always rattling their swords and shields, always flexing their muscles, always booming big words, speaking as if they would conquer the whole universe, and without any devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. In fact, the world became a pretty hellish place to live in. And all righteous personalities were disturbed, especially during the reign of Kamsa. The first thing Kamsa did was stop all religious sacrifice by the Brahmins. He had the slightest notion that Krishna was to appear. The demons came up with this brilliant plan that Vishnu was totally dependent on the demigods. And they're keeping him in power. It's like a political party. And the demigods are totally dependent on the Brahmanas offering ghee and grains and mantras in the fire of yogya. So therefore, we'll stop the Brahmanas from offering yogya. Then the demigods will not get any nourishment anymore. And they'll all dry up. When they all dry up, Vishnu will have no allies anymore. And besides, he's captured in everyone's heart and can't get out anyway. So we'll take over everything. Therefore, destroy all sacrificial arenas. Capture all the Brahmanas. Forbid all sacrificial performance. This was the plan of Kamsa. Such a demon. And all of his associates. Such rascals. But they could not stop the appearance of the Lord. Even though they knew he was coming, he was predicted. Even though they knew, but still, what could they do? Because of the Yogamaya potency, Krishna appeared. And after he appeared, Vasudeva took him out of the jail, and all the jail keepers were just sleeping. All the gates were thrown wide open. Everywhere he had free passageway. Anantashesh was there covering over the baby Krishna. Now someone may say, if Krishna is the Supreme Lord, why does he have to appear through the womb of a mother? Well, first of all, he didn't appear through the womb of the mother. He appeared to appear through the womb of the mother. But factually, he did not. Appeared, just like Devaki said, it's not very difficult to understand how you are sitting within my womb, because after all, you are lying down in this universe, and that's very big. You are also lying down in the hearts of even the smallest microbe, or within the atom. That is very small. So my womb is neither so small as the atom, neither so big as the big universe. Therefore, it is not strange that you are situated there. But in any case, Krishna didn't take birth from the womb. When he appeared directly from the heart of Devaki. He appeared in four-arm form. If Krishna were to be taking birth, well, first of all, nobody takes birth fully grown. Huge form. With long, flowing black hair. Beautiful flower garland. Conch club, lotus and disc in forearms. Beautiful jello silken dhoti. A beautiful crown on his head. Couldn't even fit all these things in the womb. Womb is a small place, you know. Maybe so big. How Krishna appeared there? Well, Vishnu, when he appeared. Full blazing effulgence. That was why when Devaki was in the stage of pregnancy, because it was seeming to be pregnancy. After all, Krishna wanted to follow the laws of the material nature to some extent, anyway. He made everything seem to be a certain way, so that to some extent it would seem that the laws of nature are being followed. Although in fact, whenever he liked, he just canceled those laws of nature. For instance, holding up a mountain on your left pinky for 7 days has nothing to do with the laws of nature, no matter how strong you are. But in certain circumstances, Krishna nullified the laws of nature because they were not very advantageous for his pastimes, for the pleasure or protection of the devotee. Otherwise, Krishna strictly followed the laws of the material energy as if he were a part of it, as if he were bound by it, but in fact he was not. Krishna is bound by nothing. Krishna is bound only by love. And therefore he agreed to be the child of Devaki. When Krishna appeared, he appeared in four-armed Vishnu form because he was not yet in Vrindavan. Mathura, just outside. In the jail cell of Kamsa, because Kamsa had put Vasudeva Devaki in the prison out of enviousness, since he heard that their child would kill him. So, Krishna, when he appeared in huge form. However, Devaki out of love said, oh, if the jail keepers see Kamsa's men, Kamsa sees you in such a big, effulgent form, they will come and try to kill you. Of course, she didn't consider that how anybody can appear straight out of her heart in this huge form, with conch club, lotus, and disc. Doesn't make sense that this person should have to worry for a few mundane persons of the material world. But because she was blinded by the Yogamaya potency, Mahamaya, Yogamaya, two potencies of Krishna. They are one, in fact. Krishna is Maya. Maya means Krishna's energy, in fact. One can see that Maya in two ways. The Yogamaya, Krishna's energy, which deludes the devotee into thinking that Krishna is his son, or friend, or lover. then one does not see Krishna with all that awe and reverence which normally is reserved for worship of Vishnu. So, awe and reverence is not very pleasing in the pure love of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. Therefore, Krishna covers his devotees with Yogamaya potency, so that they will see him as an equal, for instance, when they are playing as friends. Or as a small child, when they are playing, the parents are enjoying the pastimes of the small children. So Yogamaya. But in the material world, when one is in illusion of ignorance, thinking that he is this body, etc., this is called Mahamaya, the grand illusion of this material nature. That which is not illusion, false condition. So, Maya must be there, because Krishna is there, Maya must be there. Maya is his energy, that's all. Wherever Krishna is, also the Maya. And Krishna is everywhere, so the Maya must be everywhere, in one form or another. If it's Mahamaya or Yoga. Devaki was in Yogamaya, and she was wondering, oh, if you stay in this form, they will try to kill you. Just appear as a small baby, and I will protect you. The mothers are thinking they can protect their small babies. But actually, that's ridiculous. If some big man comes along and just snatches away the baby, what you'll do? Can't do anything. Helpless. And yet she was thinking, let me protect you. Blinded by motherly affection. And Vishnu, because he wanted to please his mother in that way, he said yes. And appeared as a small baby on her lap. And all of a sudden he was there, kicking, crying, wondering, like babies do. Yeah, of course Krishna doesn't cry. There's nothing to cry about. Krishna doesn't cry because he never feels any suffering. Although he may sometimes get annoyed with his mother. But when he gets annoyed, he gets one of these looks of naughtiness. Then he goes and breaks open the butter pots and gives all the butter to all the monkeys. But then he looks fearful, because he knows what he did. And he knows that his mother will come very soon. She will find out that he stole all that butter. Then he will get in trouble. And Mother Yasoda knew it, came with a stick, started chasing him. He was very much afraid, shaking. So Krishna will appear just like an ordinary boy, for the pleasure of his mother, for the pleasure of his father, carrying the slippers of Nanda Maharaj on his head, like an obedient son. But one should never make the mistake of thinking, oh, he was a small child. Ordinary. Avajananti ma mudha manushim tunamaj. If you think that Krishna is just a human being, you're a big fool. Don't know Krishna is superior energy. Param bhav majananto. His superior energy. Namabhuta Maheshwara. How Krishna is the Lord of everything. Putana made that mistake. It was her last mistake. She saw a little baby Krishna just playing in his crib, kicking his feet. At that time he could just barely turn himself over. Little tiny baby. Putana was thinking, now no problem, I will just kill this child who is predicted to kill Kamsa, my master. And I will have no problem to do it because after all he's so small and tiny. And I will appear by my potencies as a beautiful lady. Nobody will stop me. I will smear poison on my breast. And as soon as that child starts to drink, he'll be finished. And my purposes will be accomplished. And I will depart from that place by my mystic potencies and nobody will know anything. This is too easy. Putana was puffed up, confident, thinking, nobody is going to stop me. And when she approached Krishna, Krishna thought, she is coming as mother. He accepted her as mother, accepted her breast milk, and sucked out her whole life. First the poison, then the milk, then her life force. Of course, the poison had no effect. You cannot poison the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's eternal. He cannot be killed. And immediately Putana lost her life, screaming, "Child, leave me, leave me." They found Krishna later on playing happily on the body of Putana. So she made the mistake, thinking, here's just an ordinary little baby. Others made that mistake too. One demon was in a cart trying to cause trouble. Krishna just simply kicked the cart, smashed it to pieces, including killing the demon. Nobody saw it within. Small little baby being put under the cart for his protection, and then the cart smashes to pieces. They said, oh, what a calamity. It could have hurt Krishna without knowing that he's the one that did it. Another time, the big Srinivasa demon, whirlwind demon swirling around, picked up Krishna to take him away. And Krishna was acting small child, but he became so heavy that the Srinivasa demon could not sustain any more Krishna on his shoulder and fell down to the earth with a big crash. But of course, Krishna was not harmed. He just jumped off. Even though small boy, don't think that if Krishna has a different form, in other words, he by his pastime potency acts as a small child, that he has less potency. No. He never has less potency. His potency is always there. His infinite potency is always infinitely available to him. In whatever way he wants. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is very, very merciful. And he appears for the pleasure of his devotees. He appears for the satisfaction of the dynasty of the moon. Which brings us to another point. How is it if it's the 8th day of the waning moon, which means the moon is going dark? The Purnima was some days back, 8 to be precise. And now the moon is becoming dark. We'll get up to the new moon. So how is it so that on a day just like today, not very much different, the moon will appear full? Now, the scientists will say that's impossible, and this is just mythology. The Bhagavatam says it is possible because it happened. That which is history is certainly possible since it's already passed. Because Krishna appeared in the dynasty of the moon was overjoyed in that condition and appeared full. Someone may say, it doesn't make scientific sense. And we answer, yes, you are absolutely right. It doesn't make any scientific sense, and we wouldn't even bother trying to explain it by any scientific principle. But when Krishna appears, everything's possible. All the seasons readjust themselves. Everything everywhere becomes perfectly adjusted, just so the Supreme Personality of Godhead may appear. In that way he wishes to appear. Krishna, when he appeared, the whole world became auspicious. Now this is a good lesson. When we wish to bring auspiciousness into the world, we simply should bring Krishna. Maybe we cannot expect Krishna to personally descend into the material world, but we have called him as the deity. Ask him, please accept these forms for our worship. We wish to worship you. We wish to satisfy your lordship. Kindly accept this form and let us worship you. Because we are, in the material world, we are devoid of your association. We need it. We want it. Therefore, please kindly accept this worship. And Krishna does. Krishna appears as his holy name. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nijashava Shaktis. All of the potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are situated in his holy name. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Puna Shuddha Nityamukto Vigatam Nama. All of these potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are situated within his holy name. It is simply a question of us understanding that. More, it is a question of us chanting his holy name, purely. Then, deep realization of the Supreme Personality of God will manifest. Realization of the Supreme Lord, realization of his potencies, his energies. The realization goes like this. First you realize the name of the Lord, then the form of the Lord. Then the pastime, the associates, the abode, these things follow one after another. Causeless knowledge, detachment, and taste. One develops the transcendental taste for associating with the Supreme Personality of God. So Krishna is very merciful. And although we are in actually a fallen condition, being that we're here in the material world, Krishna comes to this material world periodically just to give us the chance to surrender unto his lotus feet. Just to give us the chance to be his devoted servants. Krishna appears just to allow us to worship him. After all, Krishna didn't appear, we could not discuss the pastimes of Krishna. How much unfortunate we would be. We are very fortunate that Krishna appears. It gives us the opportunity to glorify him on his appearance day. But today is the appearance day of Krishna. And therefore we will wait. Not wait. Just wait for something. But we will chant, hear, glorify Krishna throughout the day. And in the evening, we are awaiting Krishna's appearance. We will make a grand bathing ceremony of the Lord, just as Nanda Maharaj did on the one-year anniversary of Krishna, with bathing him in all auspicious substances. And then afterwards, we are fasting all day, not taking anything up until midnight time. The time when Krishna appeared, at the very darkest time, when it was the blackest. Generally in the night, that time is the darkest. No matter where you are in the world, if there's any dark in your world, in the part of the world you're in, at all, that will be the time when it is dark. Below the polar circle. So, we find that Krishna appeared like that. But does that mean he appeared in ignorance? No. Because when he appeared, the whole jail cell was filled with dazzling effulgence. Effulgence was appearing everywhere. Because that is the nature of Krishna. Krishna Surya Samamaya Ayanakara. Krishna is like the sun, Maya is like darkness. Where there is the sun, there's no question of darkness. Where there is Krishna, there's no question of Maya. Therefore, although Krishna appeared in the middle of the night, the moon became full of effulgence, reflecting the sunshine of Krishna's personal form. You say the moon reflects the light of the sun, but we say Krishna is brighter than millions of suns. Therefore, there's no problem for the moon to reflect Krishna shine. We find that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so powerful. He makes the impossible possible and does it effortlessly as well. Just holding up Govardhan Hill. That one pastime alone is enough to show the difference between Krishna and anybody else. Because he's great and we're small. And that we have to understand. Generally, we're extremely puffed up, and we're thinking of ourselves as really great, really big fellows, powerful, sophisticated, beautiful, in all different ways. Actually, we are just tiny little. We're sometimes becoming puffed up due to borrowed plumes. It's like if the chicken borrows the feathers of the peacock. We take some of the opulences given by the Supreme Personality of God and we accept it as our own great quality. That is foolishness. When you understand the greatness of the Supreme, then one can understand his own position in truth as being a small particle of the Supreme Lord. As Krishna says this also in Bhagavad Gita. When you have finally understood the truth, you will know that all living beings are but part of me and are mine. All living beings are just Krishna's amsha, portion. We have Vibhinamsha, separated portion. When Krishna appears himself, Shvamsha, complete, total, Supreme Lord appearing within this world. It is Krishna who appears. And Krishna appears to perform that mission of pleasing his devotees and annihilating the envious personality. So, this Krishna consciousness movement is dependent on Krishna. We chant his name, we read about him, we read his instructions, and we worship him on his appearance day. So today is Janmashtami. Let us take this opportunity to worship the Janma, appearance of the Supreme Lord. And karma is activities. Janma karma chame divyam evam yogi tattataha. And activities, in truth, tattata, of Krishna. He never takes birth again in this world, Arjuna. Punarjanma naiti mameti sorja. That person, he never returns back to this miserable material world of repeated birth and death. But he attains to the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavanyastasmi tatvataha tasomam tattvato gyatva vishate taranati. That by that bhakti, by that loving devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, one will attain to that abode of Krishna, that limitless, unlimitedly great abode, which has its connection here in this material world at the tangential point of Vrindavan, Gokula Vrindavan. Goloka Vrindavan meets Gokula Vrindavan at a tangent, one point. And we are all requested to hear, chant, glorify, remember that Supreme Personality of Godhead who appeared in Gokula Vrindavan as the son of Nanda and Yashoda. After he was in the prison cell of Vasudeva and Devaki, Vasudeva picked him up and brought him across to Vrindavan, being instructed by Krishna himself to do so. And halfway across the Jamuna, he dropped Krishna in the water and couldn't find him anymore, being frantic, looking everywhere, of course. But then all of a sudden he appeared. Because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. And when he jumped into the water, he transferred. Vasudeva Krishna took up the role of Nandanandana Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. And then Vasudeva carried the son of Nanda Maharaj to Mother Yashoda. Because Krishna in Vrindavan is eternally the son of Nanda Maharaj. And when he goes out of Vrindavan, then he becomes again the son of Vasudeva Devaki. Then he's known as Vasudeva. So these are, of course, tricky spiritual points which are discussed in great detail by the Acharyas. We can go into detail more. But Krishna appeared in his own abode. He never appears outside of his own abode. He always appears in his own abode. So he appeared in his own abode just to give us the opportunity to surrender to him. So let us do it. Krishna gives the opportunity. Now we have to do it. We were just explaining the other day. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It's a saying in English. You can take the horse, say, come here. Bring him to the pool of water. Stick his head in. But if he doesn't want to drink it, he won't drink it. You can bring him to water, but you can't make him drink. We can bring you to Krishna's temple, chanting of Krishna's name, taking of Krishna's prasadam if you're not fasting. But we cannot make you take Krishna consciousness until you yourself say, as I want Krishna. And when one says, yes, I want Krishna, then Krishna very mercifully allows himself to be captured by us in just the way we require for just becoming Krishna conscious and going back home, back to God. So we have to cooperate with Krishna's plan, Krishna's mission, Krishna's scheme. Then we'll make very great advancement. Be able to glorify Krishna properly on days like today and every day. Every day is the appearance of Krishna. Every day we have daily breathing. In that sense, when one thinks like that, every day is a festival. And one is simply wanting to go on satisfying Krishna more and more in pure Krishna consciousness, pure love of the Lord. So try to become the pure lover of Krishna. Make that the goal of life. Don't bother with any other goal than that. And the life becomes perfect. Are there any questions about Krishna, his appearance, his activities, his pastimes, his entourage, his paraphernalia, or his abode?
When Vasudeva brought that Vasudeva Krishna to Vrindavan, and when the change took place, where did Vasudeva Krishna remain?
No, he is within Krishnananda Krishna. Krishna himself is the sum total. He's Krishna, but he also includes all of the other incarnations of the Lord. That is why it is stated in Vrindavan when he killed, for instance, the Arishtasura demon. It wasn't Krishna himself who stuck his hand in the mouth of that demon. It was Vasudeva. Because all of the incarnations are present within Krishna. But when Krishna left again with the Krura, at the same place, again he went and transformed from Nandanandana Krishna to Vasudeva Krishna. And it was that Vasudeva Krishna went back to Mathura with the Krura, and it was Nandanandana Krishna who went back to Vrindavan to reside within the hearts of his devotees.
I heard in a lecture that Devaki and Vasudeva are Sadhana souls, and they have become protected.
We find that in their previous lives, they performed great austerities and penances to have Krishna as their, or have the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their child. And then, as that benediction was taking place, they became the mothers and fathers of Krishna. But they weren't allowed to enjoy the childhood pastimes of Krishna because Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Devi are the eternal associates of Krishna. And they go from universe to universe, wherever Krishna goes. No one can ever become Nanda or Yashoda. So then Krishna is taken back to them for the childhood pastimes, and then afterwards back to Vasudeva Devaki.
But we have conditions also before.
I wouldn't try and make such a statement. Yes. No. Yes.
Why is it that demons are trying to kill Krishna when they're actually killed by Krishna with different types of liberation?
Yeah, well, that depends on relationship with Krishna.
But they are very relationship with Krishna, they're very devotional.
If Krishna accepts your activity as devotional, even if it's antagonistic, then there's no problem. He can do whatever he likes. Like a king, you may be a fool before a king, but if you please him, then he doesn't care you're a fool, he gives you benediction. What? Loud. Sure, you think we don't have every book translated now in English. There are so many of all the Goswamis, hundreds and hundreds of books where they took from different portions of Vedic literatures and expand by their own direct perception of the pastimes of Krishna, writing everything down. We hope our translation department gets it together. And we can also have all those books too. Someday. Yes?
Where Krishna is brother, main activity is destroying the demon, so this is all
in the local planet, Krishna is residing in the Vrindavan Dham, the forest of Vrindavan, where Lord Chaitanya's abode. So the Mathura, we do not have information about Mathura on Goloka Vrindavan. Mathura is here. But like you said, we don't have information. So you want me to speculate or what? I don't like to speculate, just to come up with an answer so you think we know everything. There are many things which are not described in our books, and we honestly say we don't know. So if you don't mind, I don't know. Oh, I knew Krishna would appear because Krishna said he would appear. Well, there are many things in the Vedic literatures, and it is not that one has to be aware of everything all the time. I mean, I don't want to go and compare you to anybody else, but also you may know something's going to happen and you forget completely up to the point it happens. Krishna's energy is there. He's in everybody's heart, including Brahma. When he wants his pastimes performed, everybody acts like puppets. even though they may not understand why they're doing, how they're doing. So you can never question the motivation of a pure devotee. You can never know. Vaishnava Kriya Mudra Navigate Pujaya. You'll never understand why. Why Lord Brahma did like this, why demigods did like that, why Krishna did this. Why? Very difficult questions to answer. Why did Lord Brahma go to the milk ocean? Because all the demigods requested him. It's not that Lord Brahma had no idea. He knew. Now it's time. Let's start. Now Krishna is going to appear. Come on, let's go to the milk ocean. It is not that the associates of the Lord think, oh, well, he's going to do it anyway, so let him do it. Doesn't need me around. Doesn't it? It's like if we're going to go on a preaching program, and if you said, let him go preach, he'll do it. It's okay. I don't have to come. What to speak? When the demigods have an opportunity to be part of Krishna's pastimes, they run like anything. Krishna told them, okay, now it's time, all of you, portions of you, take birth on the earth planet, the Vrishni, Bhuja, and Andaka dynasties, and pick a fight with the demons. Somehow make an agitation. Just try and make a fight with them, so that they will all be destroyed. The demigods were very happy to do it. And Prabhupada once said that, yes, it's already arranged. Krishna has already arranged that Krishna consciousness movement will be successful in various ways. But you should take the credit by acting very nicely. Not that you think, yeah, it's already arranged, why should I do anything? That's what your question is. It's already arranged. Why should Lord Brahma go see Krishna in the ocean of milk? It's already arranged. Lazy. Ooh.
Lack of devotion in the state of Janmashtami, we should also have special service for Krishna.
That's what we're doing. The whole day is special service. It's special. We're all together, specially worshiping Krishna. Haven't you noticed?
You explained that Krishna appeared from the heart of Devaki, but she at the same time thought that Krishna was in her womb. And she was seemingly pregnant, so what was then in the womb?
Vishnu was lying down, taking rest within the womb, just like he lies down within the universe. She describes this in her prayers.
And when Krishna then appeared, what?
And Vishnu appeared from the heart. What's the problem? You may say, well, I don't really understand that. It's okay. We'll expect you to understand it. Krishna does what he does. It's not that you have to understand it before it's bona fide. Yeah? Yes?
So after the element, the harder they are to
No, we're talking about Krishna.
When you explained that when we chant Krishna's name, that gradually we can realize also his form and his pastimes. Is it that we directly perceive his form face to face, or that we can understand better from?
No, direct. We're talking about realization here. Direct, personal realization.
So one sees Krishna face to face.
Why not? Maybe you're thinking, oh, that's so far away from me. Therefore, can this really mean that? Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, you said that Krishna appears also everywhere, also in the atom. So some scientists, they found out that there's anti-material thing on the atom. Is it a realization of Krishna from scientists?
No, you cannot realize Krishna that way. He's transcendentally situated. Even the antimatter is still matter. Because it's all within matter. Matter includes that so-called antimatter, all the positives, all the negatives, all the in-betweens. They only realize one, like a slice of it. That doesn't mean it's spiritual when they find something else, another slice. But that was a tricky, sneaky question. He started off saying something about Krishna and then went to matter.
You were mentioning the first one to realize is the name, the form, the pastimes, the devotees.
Pastimes, paraphernalia, gold, social
So
service.
isn't that one is more conscientious than the other?
No, but once you realize Krishna, then all of a sudden you realize everything else. You realize where he lives, you realize what he does, his paraphernalia, etc. They come part and parcel with Krishna.
But isn't it first you realize everything?
How are you going to realize Krishna's concha without realizing Krishna? What is the value of the concha without Krishna? Isn't it obvious?
And just one was more like it.
No, you just speculated. We should transform our vocabulary a little bit. When we're going to say, I just thought, you should say, I just speculated. And immediately you know the answer. Yes.
How, if nobody can become Yeshua and our mother, how can some devotees enjoy parental?
Go back. First of all, Vasudeva and Devaki enjoy in that rasa. Second of all of the older cowherd ladies and men in Vrindavan, they all act in the same rasa. Parental doesn't just mean son, mother, father relationship. It also means relative, uncles and aunts, and all the protectors in the community. They all have the same relationship. All the elderly cowherd ladies always have the same relationship with Krishna like mother. Portions of demigods took birth. So they were also there, and they were also here. There's no problem for demigods. For you, it's impossible. For them, it's no problem. That's why they're demigods. Yeah. Devotional service is the means to realize Krishna. Once you realize Krishna, you also realize yourself simultaneously. Therefore, by serving Krishna, whatever way it is, you will realize yourself and Krishna. Obviously not. Yes?
Krishna does never leave Vrindavan.
why it is so. At the same time,
Because it's his.
in the scriptures it says Krishna is everywhere, and at the same time he exists and lives the past, the present, and the future. I don't understand.
Krishna, in his original form, Swayam Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he never leaves Vrindavan because that's his eternal abode. But his expansions go everywhere. His incarnations go everywhere. Krishna's expansions, for instance, the form of Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, he's within every Andantarastam, Paramanu Chayantarastam, he's within this universe and within every single atom. These are Purusha avatars. These are the expansions of Krishna. They are everywhere.
And he will appear today also here. Because it is today appearance day.
Krishna's already appeared. We're just celebrating the time when he did appear. It's his birthday. So he's already here. You don't appear each birthday new, do you? It would be nice. It doesn't work like that. Oh, yes. Can you talk into the air instead of the floor? Yes, by Krishna's own choice. Krishna comes under his own potency because it's his desire to be like that. Krishna wants to think, this is my mother. It's not like Krishna's going through his pastime smirking. She thinks that she... Krishna wants to think Jesus is Jesus' mother because that is the pastime of love. He likes this. So many mundane conceptions we just fling upon Krishna. Isn't it? In many, many respects we find so many devotees, because it takes so long to come to the point of actually understanding Krishna, that we take our mundane conceptions and place them upon Krishna. And therefore, that's what questions are for. So we can take those mundane conceptions and just rip them off again. Yes?
Body doesn't like fabulous
I'm not sure. This is the first time I ever heard there was a possibility that a devotee didn't like lions. I've never heard this before. Initiated devotee? Better you don't tell me who it is.
Also der Krishna kam das Gefängnis zu der Schule gebracht hat die Waage bekommen, dass Krishna ausgebrochen.
Did she understand that it happened? No, she wasn't aware. Because she had just given birth. And she wasn't remembering whether it was a boy or a girl. Because at that time she was very not in clear condition. And Krishna just made it so that everybody forgot. And they thought, oh, what a nice good boy.
Yesterday I read that Krishna appeared when there is friction between the demons and the devotees. So we of course would very much like that Krishna appears. How do we agitate the demons?
Just keep distributing the books of Srila Prabhupada. Produce them in every language of the world and keep distributing them like anything. We're agitating the demons like anything in Russia. So there's enough agitation. You can borrow some of that. And just keep distributing Prabhupada's books more and more and more. That agitates the demons so much you can't imagine. They lay awake nights thinking about it. Always comes back to that point.
So it's only in the material world that the starting pastimes are manifest. Not even actually the spiritual world is getting also in spiritual world.
No, don't speculate. It means that in the spiritual world, this, what goes on here in Krishna's pastimes, when it's on this world, this is also the spiritual world. It's just visible, manifest pastimes. They're also the spiritual pastimes. Krishna's pastimes in the spiritual world, they go on also when he's no longer in the childhood form. That means, within the heart of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, Krishna is always there as a child. And that relationship is always there. Even when Krishna is off and working with thousands of wives. So it's never broken, no matter where that one is. Once one is in that relationship, no matter where he is, that relationship goes on. So although Krishna may not appear as a small boy in Goloka Vrindavan, that does not mean that nobody has the paternal feelings. What was the second sentence? Don't start all over again. What is that? This second part. How does she forget that she's Yogamaya? You think Yogamaya cannot be overcome by ecstasy and love of Krishna? You think Yogamaya cannot be overcome by Krishna? You think Yogamaya is separate from Krishna? Yogamaya is Krishna's energy. And Krishna's energy is always under Krishna's control. It's not very strange. Yes?
We say incarnation, we say appearance, we say expansion. Has it something to do with the same meaning in connection with Krishna?
There are differences, and the differences are more clearly understood in the original Sanskrit words. Avatar means one who descends. So when we speak of avatar, we speak of Krishna's form descending from the spiritual sky to the material world to perform pastimes or functions. Purusha avatars perform functions in this world. For the creation, maintenance, annihilation. There are also the guna avatars. The lila avatars are where Krishna is performing pastimes. The manvatara avatars are where Krishna is performing the administrative work. Different avatars are there. Expansions are also there. Like Lord Balaram is considered Krishna's first primary expansion. Plenary expansion means full expansion for performing Krishna's pastimes. Krishna himself will also expand into so many forms for performing the rasa dance. Or so many forms, 16,108, each living in a different palace with his queen. So these words do have different connotations.
So Krishna is not the same in the next spectacle to go with it.
Okay.
That's the reason why he never can be understood totally by a very close friend of his.
Yes. Yes. Because the creeds were cursed formally. Like the moon was bent in 8 ways. And Krishna actually appeared to take them all away. It was Krishna who appeared as the coward man to take them all away. Otherwise, how Arjuna can be defeated? He cannot be defeated. He was taking them all back to his spiritual abode. Yes, she thought this child was very powerful, but that doesn't mean that she thought that he was powerful enough to stop her. Because everybody's puffed up. You think, hey, he may be powerful, but it's just a baby compared to me. That's the demoniac mentality. Yes?
Was one that they were accused of something absurd. At times also other places in their powers like the birds. Prabhupada never mentioned what is the right.
You mean in relation to this? It's Deva, not Devaki.
I mean, yes.
You mean Deva and Vishnu? Well, Deva means God. You can use the word Deva in reference to the demigod. You can use Deva in reference to Krishna.
Because it's hard to come to those.
What 2 different words? Oh, 2 different words in the text reading. Yes, that comes sometimes in very small portions. Somebody may copy it this way, somebody may copy it that way. You'll find it in some handful of places. But we follow the exact commentary of Sridhar Swami. The difference is like 1 word here, 1 word there. But it never means the change of meaning. Not bad. You try and memorize 18,000 slokas. Get every single word exactly the same. I have an idea. Why don't you try memorizing 18 slokas? That's a good start. Yes? You shouldn't even bother trying to understand if you are under Yoga Maya or not when you're in Maya. You are in Maya, period, boom. Maya means you're not Krishna conscious, you're not thinking of Krishna. Those who are under Yoga Maya are always thinking of Krishna. So there's a difference right there, isn't it? So does there need to be a big discussion on this subject? No. So get out of Maya, become Krishna conscious. Someone need an invitation. Arjuna, clean your glasses. You.
Krishna's appearances was made necessary because the demons had taken birth in families of the kingdom. So how is it that demons can take birth by their own will? Well, how is it?
Demons and demigods are in the same family. They're both equally powerful, except one works in the mode of goodness, the other works in the mode of passion, and that's all the difference in the world. Because one works in the mode of passion, he always ends up with some kind of grief condition because of excess greed. The other maintains because of always being in the mode of goodness. Therefore, the demigods always win. So demigods and demons, they can equally do all kinds of things.
Does it mean they can overload the laws from material nature? But they can...
No. Any overruling of the laws of nature that the demigods do means that's within the laws of nature. If you have certain powers and abilities, then that's also possible within the laws of nature. Just like you can overrule the law of the prison if you're the king, but that's the law of the state. That's not overruling the law of nature.
Maya or illusion is Krishna's energy, you said so.
I said, I'm nobody. I just repeat what it says.
Yes. Is the same bhakta sometimes more in Maya and
less in Maya?
In any period less in Maya?
Yes.
And
the more you think of Krishna, the less you are in Maya.
And at the same time, two different persons. And one is more in Maya and the other is in less Maya.
Yeah, the more you think of Krishna, the less you are in Maya. So always think of Krishna. Get out of Maya. Yes. It depends. Krishna has his eternal roadshow, where he goes from universe to universe, once in each day of Brahma. So, when Krishna goes from universe to universe, once in each day of Brahma like that, he goes with his eternal associates. And Arjuna is always Arjuna, Mother Yashoda is always Mother Yashoda, etc. But, within each universe, those who have become qualified, enormously qualified from so many births of pious activities, transcendental activities, they are invited into the pastimes of Krishna, and they join with Krishna in his pastimes when he comes to that universe. It is said that when you become perfected in your spiritual practice, you go to one universe where Krishna is performing his pastimes, and you take your birth there, and in this way you become trained up. Since when do we have a train now? Okay? Oh yeah, okay? No. If you appear as Arjuna, the battle of Kurukshetra is in bad shape.
In one purport in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that I read, the Prabhupada is saying that actually in this age, the new Christ shouldn't change the gender of the Hare Krishna Mantra, but they should be chanting Pachitana Mantra.
Yeah, by your qualification, since you're so unqualified. It's very hard to chant Hare Krishna Mantra without enormous offenses. Therefore, to counteract those offenses, we first chant Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita, then Hare Krishna Mantra. And that's the recommended process. Not that you now give up chanting of Hare Krishna Mantra and speculate. I know. We made a law in Denmark. First investigate, then speculate. So he was investigating since he brought it up.
And actually, right after Prabhupada, he says that this Kali Yuga, the gender of the it's more powerful.
Yes, it's more powerful. I asked Prabhupada in 1971, because he told that, of course, the Chaitanya Charitamrita had been written then. So we had just gone out on a big chanting party, and Prabhupada asked me, he called me in and asked me how it went. And I explained that, well, we nice chanting party. Many hundreds of people were all around, and we were distributing prasadam, and it was just really ecstatic. Prabhupada was very happy. We distributed a lot of Bhakti Godhead. So then he explained, he said, yes, this is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he further explained how the chanting of that mantra is many times more powerful than chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. So me, being a first-class speculator in those days, so then Prabhupada, should we just chant Shri Krishna Chaitanya mantra? Prabhupada said no. Because Lord Chaitanya asked us to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So we must follow, if we are worshipping him, we must follow his instructions. And since it's his instruction to chant the Hare Krishna Mantra, we should do so. Therefore, we only chant the Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mantra in the beginning to lighten our offenses. And then chant the Hare Krishna Mantra. All right, I think the program has to continue.